Hello, and welcome to episode 42 of Cutscene Convos. This week we've got a character profile on Wonderman. We've got to discuss the masterpiece that is Andor episode 10. We've got our final thoughts on Black Panther before it's released. Now as you're listening to this. We've got an interesting bit of news surrounding Jason Momoa and his future with DC. Another bit of interesting news surrounding Henry Cavill and his roles before we move on to Agatha versus Kingpin in this week's superhero showdown. But before all of that, Hurry, how's your week been?
My week's been pretty good. Pretty damn good. It's been a lot more chill this week, I would say. Kind of, as I've said, I think the last couple of weeks, where things have chilled down. So it's kind of work's been a lot of like small tasks that kind of got put off for a long time, or like not super high priority. I'm finally like giving me a chance to get around to them, like organizational stuff as well, and the usual menial tasks that you always keep like, no, that can wait.
This can be done at any time. Now is the any time in which they get done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty chill. Obviously, Apex, like lots of KCP stuff going on. The Apex team started their season, got first in the first week, and then week 2's just finished as we're not long before we recorded this. They got fourth. Don't know where that puts them overall. Probably like second, maybe.
Yeah, I guess it depends if everyone else has finished, doesn't it? If the same team's finished second both weeks, they might just be above them.
Yeah, so they've got 10 weeks of that for this first
so plenty
split.
of time.
Yeah, there's loads of 10 weeks for this first split, with the goal of qualifying for the first LAN, which we don't have official knowledge of when or where that is, so
you said official there, like you might have an idea of where it is.
No, definitely no rumors in or
never.
No.
Esports information getting leaked ahead of time never ever happens.
No, never happens. And then obviously this weekend on KSP we've got the Rocket League lads are doing their third regional and should hopefully lock in their qualification for Rotterdam, which at the moment is unlikely I'm gonna get to go, which is a shame. But I also, it is what it is. It doesn't matter. Not everyone can go.
What it is.
Yeah, gotta spread it out evenly amongst all the people that kind of want to go or potentially can like useful. So it's fine with me. There will be plenty of other stuff in the future. But
exactly.
Pretty laid back week for me, to be honest. How's your week been? Your chill off week?
I mean, it's been a week.
Has been a week. You've had a lot going on.
It's been a madness. This weekend was getting my grandmother down for my grandfather's funeral, which was Monday, and obviously getting the house ready for people coming and going. Then Monday was my actual grandfather's funeral, and you know when a day is so long, it feels like it's 2 days. Yeah, Monday was so long, it felt like it was about 5 days. And I'm not even like taking the piss there. You know, when you have a long day, you're like normally it's like a travel day. And like you have like the afternoon, which is like when you've arrived in like wherever you're going on holiday or whatever, and that feels like a day. And then the travel feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
genuinely, it felt like 5 for them because it was get up and like people arrived at the house, say hello to everyone. Then you had the funeral. Then it was wake / come home and get changed. Then it was head into London for Kendrick Lamar concert, and then it was the actual Kendrick Lamar concert.
And yeah, you had a busy day.
Mate, it was, I got up at 9 o'clock that morning and didn't get back into bed until 1:30 Tuesday morning.
Jeez. Oh, I say jeez, like that's not sort of my normal.
My day was so long, I managed to get bordering on blackout drunk at the wake and be sober by the time I got to bed that night.
Oh my God.
That's how long.
You should have kept the buzz going through Kendrick. Oh no, it's London. Yeah, no, I take that back. I take that back.
To put in perspective how expensive the O2 is, when me and Jenna arrived at the O2, we went for dinner in one of the little restaurants on the edge of the O2. So it's under the main building, but it's not in the actual arena. Called Thunderbirds. It's like a chicken place.
Oh, okay.
For both of us to get essentially 5 strips, chips, and a drink was 20 quid, which is actually pretty reasonable for
Yeah.
Watford and London. Then when we actually like scanned our tickets and went into the actual O2 itself, we were walking around to our seats. A small burger, and like I say small based on me seeing someone actually have it,
Mm-hmm.
and a smallish portion of chips was £18.20 by itself.
That's fucking daylight robbery. That's fucking daylight robbery. Excuse me?
Yeah.
What?
Me and Jenna got a Pepsi Max and a lemonade while in the actual arena because we were thirsty, and that was £9.90.
My God. Remind me
It's
to
fucking
never go
outrageous.
to a gig in
It's
London.
just, yeah, it's so outrageous.
Like, that's just not okay.
So then Tuesday, as I'm sure you can imagine, was a lot of just like
Sleep.
what is going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tuesday was like relatively chill. There was just bits to do. I had some editing and some uploading to do for the channel because obviously I didn't get as much as I'd normally get done on the weekend done.
Understandable.
Then yesterday I already had moaned to Hori about how shit EA's PC like installer app thing is. It had to do a 5 GB and a 3 GB update on my PC, and it is so poorly optimized. Even though it had good internet speed the entire time, it took, I shit you not, like what was it? It would have been 8 hours for it to do essentially 2 installs totaling 8 GB, and it locked up my entire PC for the entire duration of that, which was fun.
Sounds like me playing Rust.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it was today, and it's Thursday, and I need to finish doing all the uploads for the rest of the week and record and blah 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 blah. Blah. But I'm going away tomorrow. Tomorrow's been crazy busy as well.
Yeah, you've been non-stop.
Yeah, mate. I tell you, I pissed someone off up there because it's no rest at all at the minute. It's packing tonight after we do this. Then it's get up, shower, get myself sorted, go fill up the car with petrol, into town for midday to watch Black Panther, which I believe is like a 10 past 12 showing. That's a 3-hour film. No, 2.5-hour film, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
So that'll be finished at like 2:30, 3ish. Get straight in the car to drive to Southend. Check in at our hotel, and then we need to be at the local Nando's for 7 to have dinner with Josh.
Ooh, jealous.
And then at some point go back to the hotel and pass out before getting up, hopefully not too early Saturday, to meet our friends who are also travelling down to Southend for the gig we're going to on Saturday night.
Just non-stop. And then, just life.
And then, yeah.
This is the life Connor lives now.
Yeah, and then it's driving back home Sunday so that I can be back in time for NFL around my brother's with friends on Sunday evening.
That is.
And then back to work Monday.
Just a life of partying for you, isn't it?
I wish.
Meanwhile, I'm just chilling in my room.
Yeah. I need like a clone or a twin or something. Just take some of the shit stuff off my plate.
A variant of you.
Yeah, exactly that. Anyway, let's get into this week's character profile.
Yes.
I said last week we were doing a character profile on Wonderman after the actor had been cast. So that's what we're doing. If you're shocked, I implore you to be more intelligent.
Watch last week's episode.
So Wonderman, aka Simon Williams, made his debut in Avengers #9 all the way back in August 1964. He's not that special. Oh, I mean, no, he is special. His upbringing wasn't that special.
Okay.
He was from a family with a dad who created a company that made lots of money. His brother didn't want to take over the company, so then when his dad died, he took over the company, which he promptly kind of ran into the ground.
Well, that was good of him.
Yeah. His brother then convinced him to embezzle money from the company
It's always
so that
family
he could
members.
invest it with the
Ah.
Magyar crime family, who would use it, I assume, to do crimes, and then he would get dividends. I don't know how investing with a publicly traded crime family works. um, when he got found out by the board of directors, he obviously got like
Funny.
kicked out, and the
Yeah.
company like went bust essentially. Um, he then got approached by the Masters of Evil, which don't really get used anymore, but they're just kind of like the bad Avengers
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I've not heard
from
of
the
them.
60s. It's a very 60s kind of name. The Masters of Evil. What are they up to now? This daft.
Mwahaha.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so basically, the Masters of Evil approached him and basically said, "Hey, we'll give you superpowers. Hey, that'll be cool and fun, right?"
Yeah.
So what they did was you had them basically. It's very 60s in the sense of it was here's a science ray that does things, and they
You've
zapped
been
him, and it
zapped.
made yeah, and it made him very strong and fast and just yoked. Um, but then obviously they're the Masters of Evil, so their kind of ploy became to light when they essentially said, "Okay, you're now going to be a mole for us. We're going to set it up so the Avengers think you're a hero. They're going to invite you to be a hero, and then you're going to be on the inside for us.
Ah.
And if you don't, we're not going to keep giving you the medicine you need to not die from what we've just given you your powers with."
Oh, that's nice of them.
Exactly. So that's what happened. He became a mole for the Masters of Evil inside the Avengers. Um, he then told the Avengers he was dying and they were trying to help him. At which point he got called upon to um, basically trick them into falling into the Master of Evil's trap, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
But during the battle, he decided that he would rather die than betray the Avengers after the kindness they showed him in trying to help him with his illness that he told them about.
Right.
And I mean, that's what he did. He died.
Oh.
His brother, who by this time was going by the Grim Reaper, not like the actual mystical Grim Reaper, that was just his supervillain name,
What a name.
decided to work with Vision. Now,
Oh.
this is where it's going to get a little bit confusing and you're going to see differences between the MCU and the comics.
Okay.
Because Vision isn't Jarvis or like a version of Jarvis in the comics.
Yeah.
His brain and his memories are actually based off Wonderman, Simon.
Right. Okay.
So what the Grim Reaper wanted to do was work with Vision to steal back his brother's dead body and reanimate it so that the Vision could then put his consciousness into it and he'd have his brother back, essentially.
Right.
However, Vision was
Not
just doing
creepy at
this
all.
to... Yeah. Vision was just doing this to trap the Grim Reaper with the Avengers. The
Okay.
Grim Reaper somehow managed to still escape with his brother's body. And had it reanimated by witch doctors of some kind.
Okay. That's
One, it's very 60s comic
yeah.
books. Try not to question it too much. Once he was reanimated, he was quite zombie-like,
Of course.
as you'd expect.
Yes.
However, the more he kind of stumbled about, the more or the less zombie-like he became. And then when the Avengers, who kind of found this zombified guy just strolling about, were trying to work out what to do, they had an encounter with the living laser. And he kind of got shocked by the living laser during the fight, which brought him back fully.
Oh.
So then what transpired, and this reeks of
Oh, no.
retconning.
Ah. Classic.
Yeah. In reality, he'd just been in a coma this entire time.
Oh, how
in
convenient.
In a bit of like a metamorphosis type dealio.
Right.
And by being reanimated and then struck by the living laser, it had completed his transformation, which took him from flesh and blood to a flesh-like substance, i.e., we don't have to change what he looks like. But instead of blood, he was nourished by ionic energy. So he's living energy.
Right. Yeah.
And that is Wonderman. But he is so powerful. To the point where they nerfed him in a very interesting way. So he's superhuman everything, super strong, super fast, just all of your standard god level, just bat bat bat.
Mm-hmm.
Like sentry level superhuman strength, which sentry is, and this is one of these things that always winds people up. He's that kind of Superman equivalent
Got you.
alien with god tier powers.
Got you.
So he's that kind of level of strong.
Mm-hmm.
He is highly invulnerable, and he is practically immortal, which is in the sense of he won't die of natural causes.
Right. Got you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as an extension of that immortality, he's also self-sustenant, which means he doesn't need to eat, drink, sleep,
Oh,
rest.
wouldn't that be the dream?
Yeah. Um, due to his energy abilities, he can also kind of shapeshift and make himself bigger.
Oh, like ginger size a bit.
Yeah. And he also, as I'm sure you could guess based on what I've already said, has the ability to manipulate energy.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very strong.
Yes.
The way they stop him from being too
Oh.
effective
Mm-hmm.
is him being in his coma, which was kind of felt like death, has really fucked his mental health. He is severely mentally ill a fair bit of the time,
Right.
constantly struggling with self-doubt and not being able to focus because he's so scared of dying again, even though he's practically impossible to kill.
Got you.
And he's also at times been an extreme pacifist to the extent of
Oh,
he
okay.
won't fight whatsoever, which makes him practically useless in combat.
Yeah.
But he is a very skilled actor and a very intelligent man, so he can still be useful.
Hmm. Interesting.
Also, it wasn't really said too much in here. I don't know if it was a particular comic run, but to my knowledge, he also did have a thing with Wanda for a while.
Oh.
Um,
Lucky guy.
so yeah, which makes sense because in the comics, Wanda and Vision had a thing, and Vision is kind of him.
Yeah. I get. Yeah. Makes sense.
And that is Wonderman. His show is going to be quite interesting, I think.
Yeah, I didn't
And I'm
really
really
know
curious
anything
to
of him,
see.
so
Yeah. I'm really curious to see where they kind of use him and go with him.
I wonder if they'll try and tie in the MCU's Vision in any
I
way.
am wondering
Or
if
he's not Vision
White
anymore, is he?
Vision,
Yeah, White Vision.
if White Vision, who doesn't really fully have Vision's memories,
Merges with.
gets, yeah, which would be a bit of a waste in my opinion, but I could see them doing it.
Yeah, or at least somehow involve White Vision in whatever the storyline is.
Yes.
Because he's just out there chilling at the moment.
Well, yeah, apparently we've got a show with him coming at some point. But
Well,
who even knows at this point?
yeah, super interesting. I knew nothing of Wonderman, so.
I knew bits and pieces about him. I knew he was very powerful. I didn't know all that about his mental health and stuff.
Right.
I think in the modern world, them having a character who very clearly has struggled with mental health for a large part of their history could be very interesting storytelling
Yeah.
and potentially do a lot of good for a lot of people.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to see how they handle that, and hopefully they handle it with intelligence and respect. And this brings us on to Andor episode 10.
Do you want to know my first note on this?
Go on,
No, Kino.
mate.
Right.
This
We
just
keep saying it. Every week, and we're a broken record. But
the levels, bro. The
but
levels.
fucking hell, this episode was good. Like I stand by this now. This
Go on.
this is the best Star Wars we have had since
Rogue One.
I kind of put it above Rogue One because there's a bit more depth to it, like because there's a lot going on. I think, if anything, this is like making Rogue One even better because we're getting all this extra like tie-in and build-up.
Context.
But like,
But
honestly,
they've done it again.
top tier.
They've done the thing that we said after Aldani.
Hmm.
We literally fucking said, oh, they're going to introduce us to new characters. They're going to
Oh
make us
shit!
forget that
Yeah.
everyone has to die, and then they're
Oh,
going to kill them off again, and we're going to be surprised.
they did. They killed so many off. I didn't
Like,
even. Oh, you know, yeah.
how do they do it? We sit here, we're intelligent, we say to ourselves, they're going to pull this shit again. And then they do it, and we're surprised.
And it hurts. It just hurts. But it's so
But
good at the same time.
can we just have a little round of applause for Andy? Absolute masterful acting performance that entire episode.
Oh, great! His whole
his performance in this show has got to be Emmy worthy, no?
oh,
It's got to be.
it's yeah. I mean, if it can get nominated, like it's honestly, he has played that character
I had
so
chills.
fucking well. And like the thing as well is, realistically, we've only really had. He's been in 3 episodes.
Yeah.
The first one was very brief.
Mm-hmm.
Really set up the character really strongly, like his personality and how he was. Second episode, we didn't really get a lot of him, but we saw that transition. And then this one, we just saw like full blown, like ran with that performance. Like
the guy is a magician. I don't get it. He's so talented.
he really
All
is.
I've seen on Twitter yesterday and today was just, why do we keep hiding this man behind CGI? Look how masterful an actor he is.
See,
and you know what the thing is? It goes back to what we were saying last week. He's such a good actor. He can get these emotions through no matter how much CGI you put in front of him.
well, yeah, that's the thing as well. It's like
he's too powerful to not have CGI.
Because he's so good, he is like the perfect person to put behind CGI because it helps sell it better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
I just that the speech at the control center, the one way out throughout. I felt chills.
Oh, it was.
I was sat here anxious because my PC was locking up. I was watching a download. I had the show on my other monitor, and it was stuttering a fair bit because my PC was like locking up. So it wasn't even a smooth watching experience. And I still was enamored with it. I was sat here eating pizza at like 2:00 on a Wednesday, and I was completely absolved into it. That's difficult.
It's just the way that like the episode opened, obviously straight on from where the last one finished, which was them walking away and saying 12 guards, no more.
Yeah.
Or no more than 12 guards. And it's like they go into the cell and there's a whole interaction between Cassian and Kino, and he's like, it's like you can see Andy really sold it in like how you can see Kino's kind of trying to mentally fight with the fact that this whole idea he had, this whole thing he's kind of been locked in and focused on has been shattered, but he doesn't want to accept that it's been shattered yet. And you can see he's mentally fighting with it.
I'm willing to bet, I haven't gone back through and noted it down, but I'm willing to bet if someone spent the time to go through, you can probably put a timestamp on the moment the character goes through each of the 6 stages of grief. And what he was grieving was this idea that he was going to get out. So you had the bargaining, the anger, and then at the end, the acceptance. He knew he couldn't swim and that he was dead. But he was still happy because he was like, you know what? We made it, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's something I didn't even, like, he'd know that, like, he doesn't really actually have a way out. Like, I guess there's like, I think I like to think that partway through, like, he believed there was some way that he was going to get off that place, like through a ship or something. But it's like that point when they got to the, like, they'd rallied the whole fucking block, every floor. all coming up to this entrance. I love the fact that as they ran up to it and realized an edge, one guy just went straight off the edge. Just like typical, oh shit, there's an
Yeah.
edge here, I've gone. But then
It
he's
was the
just,
second guy that I really loved who saw it, took a step back and just did like a big old swan dive. And he was like,
fuck,
hey,
I'm out of here.
win, lose, or draw, we took him to the end, baby.
But then it's like, you could really tell with Andy's performance of like the emotion of like, it suddenly all kicked in that he was like, I can't fucking swim. I'm not actually ever going to leave this place. Now, part of me hopes that we're not done with him. I don't think he's dead yet.
I think he is.
If
they make us watch him get tortured or anything,
this is what I mean.
Cry.
Because here's the thing, right? The ISB is all over any sort of thing now. This screams like organized rebellion, breakout. ISB is going to be all on it, and that ISB woman's going to probably then get a wind of it and be like, oh, and they're going to have Kino captured, and she's going to torture the shit out of it and find out that it was Cassian.
Oh, I really hope you're wrong because I don't want to see that. Literally, while watching the episode, we see them get there and we see the beautiful light. And I'm literally sat and I'm like, yeah, we did it! And then Kino stops, he's like, I can't swim. And my hands are
just the expression on his face, you were like,
no,
do you know what? Do you know what I was? I was just like, Cassian, just grab him and help him swim.
Just carry him. Just carry him.
Pull him. But then Cassian got shoved off, and I'm like, no, he's just gonna stay there. I can't believe
the whole breakout scene of them going to each floor and each man being freed and realizing he can fight. It's beautiful. And don't get me wrong, I've made no secret of the fact I'm a huge leftist and all of this shit. And yeah, cool, whatever. Fascism sucks. We all know that, but I'm even more extreme, and I get that. But they're just sitting there. I'm like, oh yeah, fight the man. While I love that shit. It's 100%. It's for me. I'm sat and I'm like, yeah, fuck that guy. Let's do it.
Do you know what one of the best bits was obviously Cassian was in the bathroom bit just trying to break that water pipe. Obviously I then clicked, I was like, okay, he's trying to fry the electrics or something. But he's just, the thing I thought was funny is like, obviously the lift's coming down and he's just stood there drenched, like that's not suspicious at all. And then
don't be suspicious. Don't be
literally
suspicious.
And then when it all kicks off and they try to fry it, and then he's like, Kino's like on the tables, and it fries one person at least,
and that shorts it.
But then Kino stood there and he's stood on the floor, and it's like that sudden realization to everyone that like
they have no power now.
They've fucking got no control anymore. Their one like main thing that they hold over us and what they'll do to us is gone.
Useless.
And that like turning point in it, and obviously all the floors getting freed, and you could see on the map in the control room of all the dots coming to the center, like all the prisoners.
Yeah.
It was such a good breakout. And I know last week we talked about potentially like this week's episode was going to be them planning it. I'm glad that they just dived straight in with it.
You know, I like the more chaotic feel of we've got to work it out as we go. We don't have to.
Yeah, we haven't got time. Like they're gonna as soon as he was like they're gonna bring a new man in the next day. This is our one chance. It was like, oh shit, yeah, that is their chance. Like, and it was great. Meanwhile, I'm fucking what do you call the planet, the Senate? I can't think what the city's called.
Mon Mothma.
Yeah. You see? It's gonna. It'll come back to us.
I'll fucking Google it. Capital planet of Star Wars. I assume it's the capital planet. Coruscant.
Back on Coruscant. Loads of shit going on there as well.
Yeah.
Mon Mothma. This is where she's getting backed into a corner, and I think this is what. So this has got to be one of the reasons that leads to her kind of not being
just fully going on with the rebellion.
Well, it's like she's been pushed into a corner, right, by this mobster, essentially, is my understanding. Yeah. He's a mobster who like fronts some rich bloke.
That would be the impression that we're being given. I would concur.
The fact that he's trying to like back her into a corner to like betroth,
sell her daughter, essentially.
Yeah, for her. I think she's gonna choose. She's not gonna want to do like that's gonna be a no go, and she's just gonna go fuck it and take her chances, and obviously end up having to flee or something because they figure like she doesn't because they figure out about the money shit.
Yeah.
So very interesting watching her slowly getting backed into a corner to the point where she's obviously going to have to turn full rebellion and like just ditch the Senate and get out of there, which will then be interesting to see what happens to her husband and daughter. Also was surprised to see Luthen has an inside man in the ISB.
I wasn't surprised to see he had one. I was surprised to see we already knew who it was.
Okay, yeah, I I was surprised how high up they were. Should I say? I would have expected like the ISB woman's little like right hand assistant
Yeah.
guy, someone that level.
But they kind of explained that, well, like, I've been doing this for like
Well,
6
yeah,
years.
he's been working his way up.
But I loved Luthen's speech about how we don't do this for us.
Yeah,
We're not doing this so that we can be free. So the next are. I just this episode is just full of them speeches that no, I don't know if it's just me, but you know how like, you got them songs and them moments in films where as you're hearing
yes,
it, you're getting so pumped up you feel like you could physically run through a brick wall. That was this episode for the entire episode. The entire episode, I'm sat here like I could punch a mountain and it would cry. Like that was the kind of energy this episode was giving at all times.
yeah, no, that. And do you know what's funny? While he was doing the whole speech about we don't do this for us, we're doing it for the ones that come after us. We're doing this to make a change now so we can help them. My brain was like, this would be a really good speech to kind of motivate people to get the fuck on board with climate change.
Yeah.
Like, let's save the planet now, not for ourselves, but for the people in the future. But
Bearing in mind, Star Wars does have a relatively vocal right-wing supporters. They really do miss the point.
they really do, don't they? But yeah, that whole speech was great. But then also the way that like Luthen's willing to hold kind of not so much he's threatening his family, that guy's family, but like reminding him that you're in a place now where like your own personal wants are outweighed by the safety of others or like the needs of like the rebellion and stuff. Like
Exactly.
you're now part of a bigger thing and your own fears no longer matter, unfortunately. And the way that he just then shut the lift on him and sent him away. Just like
Yeah. It was so badass. This episode was so good. They can't top it again, can they?
yeah, I think they will.
They've got 2 episodes left. There is no way they can top this episode in them 2 episodes.
Here's my thoughts. I
And
genuinely
if they do,
believe
all of the Emmys.
I
All of them.
genuinely believe the next episode's gonna have Kino being tortured. I do.
I really hope you're wrong.
Because it's gonna be the ISB woman trying to one step
Unless it ends
behind.
with Kino getting out alive and safely, I don't want it.
I don't think he gets out alive and safely.
Neither do I, which is why I don't want it.
And then we're also going to have at some point Cassian's going to get work. I think now. So there's 2 things that are going to happen. I think Cassian's going to try going back to Ferrix again because where does he always go after? Like
No matter how smart that man is, he is dumb as fuck.
He's going to want to go back and be like, look, this shit's getting real. Like to his mother and be like, we need to get you out. Who seems like she's sick. Was that what we got from Ferrix?
Very sick. Yes.
So I think
very sick.
He's gonna go back to Ferrix, which puts him right in the fucking fire again because he's a dumb idiot. I think in the next 2 episodes he does that, finds out that Bix is dead. We presume.
Is she?
Well, we don't know.
She's just a bit like a
she might be She might be mentally dead.
Yeah, a bit vegetably.
His mum's dying or gonna be dead.
All because of the Empire.
I think that's gonna be the things that then push him to contact Luthen and be like, I'm all fucking in.
We're in. Yeah, we're in.
And then I also think we're gonna end with like Mon Mothma being like backed into some corner
I don't think she leaves just yet. I think
I
that's
don't
how
think she
the overall
leaves.
series ends.
I think it'll end with like her saying no to the other guy, and she knows that she has like the um it's not the ISB for that, but like the Senate or
For
whatever.
banking people,
Yeah,
yeah.
the banking people like on her back about something, and she's like pressured.
Yeah. It's going to be very good, and I'm very,
I'm
very
very
excited.
excited. I am very excited.
I'm also very excited about the fact that we have at least one more season of this show guaranteed. In reality, probably two or three. Because if this is the levels they're looking to set, oh mama,
Yeah, no, it's like if this, it's also like just don't get me wrong, like the writing. We've talked about all that. Also, just like the visuals this time around. I feel like the sets, the actual physical sets, the attention to detail, the look,
it
like
is
the
Star Wars through and through.
yeah, the amount of like attention to detail and like world building for the sets and stuff, and like really staying true to like Star Wars and building out the Star Wars world, like is setting a new level for like these Star Wars TV shows. And I
Yeah.
hope whatever the films they do next, whatever they decide to do, like they manage to bring this into the films on an even bigger scale, because that would just be incredible.
Well, hopefully they listen because this has been like I saw people who didn't even like Kenobi. People seem to
Yeah.
overall be more liking this than anything else. Rogue
Yes.
One was really well received by the majority of fans. Hopefully, Disney put two and two together and go, okay, these two are very similar. This
Yeah.
is what people like. We do more of this.
Yeah. Hopefully. I'm hoping. I think Dave Filoni is pretty good at spotting what the fans liked, Ahsoka, and finding ways to keep adding her in. And like, I think he'll see this now and go, okay, we need to focus more at this like street level, real, like
What are people
hard.
living?
Like, yeah, like what is it actually like to be living in Star Wars and those stories
Yes.
that develop from it?
And hopefully they take this style and they apply it to the next trilogy, which is going to be a relatively clean break from everything else so far. And
Yeah,
they just take the style of it and tell a story all in this style, and then we can sit there and go, yes, very good.
exactly. Exactly.
Um, but I think that's all that is there to be said about Andor episode 10. If like you watch along with our or sorry, if you watch the podcast and you've heard us talking about it, but you're not that interested in Star Wars, Rogue One and Andor
Mm-hmm.
will be the two things that will sell you on Star Wars more than anything else. And I don't think there's anything you really need to have seen to understand them.
No.
Yes, you'll get extra bits of context if you'd watched other stuff, but you could definitely just start with them.
Yeah, I like honestly, I would if you've watched none of it and you're just Star Wars never been a thing, just start with the Andor TV show. Like don't worry too much about Rogue One, because if you're enjoying the Andor TV show, but you don't want to dive all the way into Star Wars, my opinion would be, okay, stick with the Andor TV show as the seasons come out. When it's finished, then you watch Rogue One. Or if you want to watch Rogue One once the season's over, and then you know the gap, and then see where you go from there. But this definitely is like some
This
of
is
the
gonna sell a
best.
lot of people.
This is some of the best Star Wars we've had in a long time, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And this brings us on to Black Panther, which
mm.
I mean, as this is coming out, I'm in the middle of watching it, which is kind of spooky. Um,
I don't know when I'm watching it.
we
Shock.
have been so excited for this film for so long.
Oh, it's been like the anticipation on this film has been going on for weeks, months now.
I'm not a big
Chauffeur.
crier, like at all, let alone with like TV and film.
I know what you're going.
I'm fully anticipating to cry at some point during this.
I think if I'm going to get, I'm also not like a huge crier, but things will get me like choked up or welled up a bit. I think if there's going to be any point, it's going to be like however they do whatever transition it is they're doing for T'Challa.
Yeah.
Because it's going to also have that, yes, it's whatever they do with the character and however they do it, but it's also got like the fact that Chadwick And
Well, yeah,
it's
it's like in Fast and Furious when like you have the Paul
I,
Walker split off at the end,
yeah,
and everyone's just sat there like, oh. It's
knowing
like the
that's
scene
like,
itself isn't that sad, but the context of the bigger world is
yeah,
what makes it sad.
yeah, exactly. Like you feel like you're actually getting to say bye to the character and the actor.
Yeah,
Yeah, no. So I think that's what's gonna like hit everybody fucking hard. Um, I am very excited though, because
I mean,
I've tried to watch. Now we've been getting closer, and there's been TV spots left, right, and center.
yeah,
I've
try and
kind of
avoid them.
yeah, I've been avoiding them. So I know that there's a lot of new shots of like different things we haven't seen, but I've kind of kept away from. Um, I'm so excited though. I think also like as well as the story and getting to continue the Black Panther story, there's also like the music's going to be incredible. It was in the first one. The actual from the trailer alone, like the cinematography in this is going to be so like emotional throughout. So I'm so ready for it. So ready.
And on top of all of that, fucking Namor, man.
Yes. There's like the whole like we're getting Namor, we're getting Ironheart.
Like this is some long term shit being set up here.
Yes.
Ironheart is one of the top tier legacy characters in my opinion,
Yep.
and Namor is like the OG. Last week or the week before, whenever we spoke about how like the comic trilogy versus the MCU trilogy are like three different people. Namor's the OG trilogy. Without him, you wouldn't have even got to your Spider-Man, your Hulk, and your Wolverine.
Yeah.
He's part of the OG. He's part of back when Marvel was all about the Fantastic Four, the first family of Marvel. That kind of OG.
Yeah, introducing Namor is going to be a huge thing.
I'm so fucking excited. It
Now,
looks so good.
what post-credit scene prediction do you have?
Oh, it's a good question. Um, Post-credit scene project. I've got a feeling. See, I'm about to say this. I know you asked about post-credits. I don't think it's with post-credits. I think there's going to be a reference to Fantastic Four Reed Richards somewhere.
Yeah, I would agree. There's going to probably
Um,
be some reference.
or no, there's going to be
Oh,
a reference to the Future Foundation
I,
because that's more niche.
right. Okay.
So Future Foundation is essentially the Fantastic Four
Mm,
and Spider-Man and a couple of others in like all white suits instead.
right.
But because of like the way that's worded, you could say that Riri's been sent to Wakanda as part of like the Future Foundation development program or something, and 99% of people whoosh straight over their head.
What
And
if
that is the
it's?
exact kind of thing Marvel love to do.
What if that's why Riri?
Yeah.
What if that's why she's in Wakanda?
Is that not what I said?
No, you said Reed.
Oh, sorry. I meant Riri, yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah,
What if the reason Riri is
yeah,
in Wakanda is part of like a development
yeah.
program funded by
Or
the Future
yeah,
Foundation or
some
something
sort.
like that?
She's got a scholarship or something, or
Yeah.
like yeah,
But
yeah. That's a
actual
good. That
post-credit scene.
I have one idea,
Um,
but I'm
I
interested to see yours.
think what I mean. This is the end of this phase, isn't it?
Mm. So
Okay, so this it's gonna there's gonna be two.
yeah,
Is my prediction.
one of them's going to be juicy.
One of them is gonna be like multiverse saga juicy, and one will be a jokey one. Jokey one will be something to set up armor wars. So Riri in
Meeting.
bumping into Rhodey or something in the
Yeah,
middle of a flight, or Rhodey like calling her up as she's flying, telling her he's gonna shoot her down or something.
yeah. It's going to be like this is like they say. You know, a mirror of when Tony was first in the suit
Yeah.
and he was on the phone. Yeah, I like that idea. So
The serious one.
mm,
Oh, I have no idea. They have so many options, and it all depends what direction they want to go.
so my thought
Go on.
at the end of phase, I'm pretty sure I forget which was the last one of phase one. Didn't phase one end with the first Avengers? Possibly.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure the post-credit scene for that was the Thanos reveal.
Fine, I'll do it myself. Yeah,
Now,
that
my
wasn't his first post-credit scene though.
was it not?
No, his first post-credit scene was
Oh, there was that one on the
Thor.
on the rock.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, what my thought is, two possible people. It's
Well,
either another Kang reveal thing,
Iron Lad. I'm waiting to see Iron Lad at some point. Sorry,
or
continue.
I wonder if there's going to be whether it's directly shows him or it's just a very, very big hint to Doom.
Hey, I could be down for a Doom. We're dealing with Wakanda. We're dealing with I forget because they're not doing Atlantis. They're doing a Aztecian sunken
Yeah,
city empire. If they want to throw in a, is it? I can't. Latveria isn't real, is it? I always get these confused because there are no Latveria is real, or is it? Wait, no Latveria. Sorry, Marvel fandom. Yeah, yeah. Latveria. A little Latveria reference would be kind of sick.
yeah. I wonder if there's like,
Well, there was
because
the rumors months ago that Doom was going to have a cameo in this, wasn't there?
yeah. So that's my thing. It's like also in like She-Hulk with Wrecking Crew, and so we've had so many like very slight
And Titania.
connections. Yeah, and Titania, and like very slight connections to potential Doctor Doom. So if they were to like end this whole like phase with like a either don't even have to like actually properly show him if it's just a name drop.
So all I'll say is, and this is me talking from a defense of my theory standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
which is wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway. But my theory being that Kang isn't actually the big bad. They're
mm,
going to spend this time making him look like the big bad for Doom to insta kill him essentially, and then everyone goes, "Oh shit!" and then he's the real big bad. Um, if they were to do that, which is what I think they might do, showing Doom now doesn't make as much sense.
yeah, it's whether or not they want to. So my thought, I did also think that because I know we've discussed about that idea, and the only reason I still went with the idea of Doom is if you reveal him now, and then he's revealed to be like in a certain position, like just running a bunch of like the Wrecking Crew and all that, and he's at that kind of level of organizing them lot. It kind of sets up this precedent now going forward, where people go, "Oh, he's at this level, like blah blah blah. Kang's going to come along and seem more powerful and bigger than what this Doctor Doom we've already been introduced to." Everyone becomes focused on Kang, then they flip it around and still do it that way. But I
Yeah,
do also agree, like if they are wanting to make Doom like this big surprise flip, then maybe not post credit
I,
scene.
I, I won't be surprised by a Latveria reference at all. I won't be surprised by a Future Foundation reference. I don't. Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but at the same time, it does make a lot of sense. Latveria is very European, but we know there's going to be some stuff happening at like the UN and that, where a
Mm,
Latveria could be mentioned in passing, or
yeah,
there'll be a bit of paper with today's agenda, and one of the things on there will be Latveria social issues or something. Proper niche stuff that we probably won't notice while watching, and then we'll see videos about from other people, and then we'll pretend we noticed. um, no, we never
yeah,
do that. We're very honest there. Um, but they have a lot of opportunity. This film is positioned in such a way where they could do everything with it and not a lot with it at the same time, and
yep,
neither would be the wrong decision. I hope we don't get a really, really goofy post-credit scene like we have in the last couple of films. I'm okay with a funny one, but not like a super off-the-wall goofy one.
yeah. I'm more like I'm fine with a funny one if it's still kind of like we said connects Riri and Rhodey or something like a funny
Yeah,
way to connect two characters we know already are going to be interacting going forward. But at this point of like we're now at the end of phase 4,
oh my god.
like
Sorry, I've just
um,
had a thought. Post-credit scene. What if it's Riri arriving back in America, and there's someone there with her like name on a card, and she's like, "Hi, that's me. I didn't order this." She's like, "Oh, it's been paid for. I'm to take you to the Baxter Building."
Yeah, if it's some like hint, another, yeah, it could.
But we
That's another
still
thing.
don't know who bought Avengers Tower.
Exactly.
I'm convinced that's going to become the
What
Baxter
if,
Building.
what if it's actually Riri flying in her suit and she lands on the old Avengers Tower because it has it possibly still has the Iron Man suit landing pad. So that could be another potential. I do think like something Fantastic Four related is going to get hinted or teased.
I just feel
Or
like we're getting too close, and there's not been anything mentioned yet. That either, if we don't get anything now, I think it has to wait until the film, and they have to be nobodies,
yeah,
or they need to start dropping hints now.
I just think there's going to be a juicy post credit because it's the end of the phase, and we're now this has been the setup phase, just like phase 1 was,
Yeah.
and now we're getting into characters are going to start getting linked together and crossovers and all this.
But,
so
yeah, the next film after this is Ant-Man, which literally has Kang as the big bad.
yeah, so something needs to be.
Something's got to give here.
Yeah.
And we'll see what it is, I guess. But I'm very, very excited to go see it tomorrow. I'll be eating my popcorn. I'll be drinking my drink. I'll be very happy.
I will be seeing it as soon as I can get myself around to see it, because unfortunately this weekend a little busy. Well, depending when I see it. I'll be doing my usual of
You'll work it out.
I'll knowing me. I don't actually think this will be last minute. I think I'll be pretty good at wanting to go see this, but
Yeah, we're two different ends. You'll be like, I'll make sure I see it before Thursday. Whereas I'm like, if I'm not one of the first people to see it, I will simply cease to exist.
I will just ignore Twitter and social media for the whole.
See, I can't do that. Saying that, if I was going to do it, this weekend would be the easier time to do it, but I wouldn't be able to do it. And we've got a couple of nerd news networky things.
Yes.
But they're both kind of juicy, so we're going to talk about them individually here. Because, I mean, there's a lot to unpack. So, yesterday, James Gunn kind of teased that he'd want to do a Lobo project. Lobo is outrageous. He kills everything. He's been kicked out of heaven and hell. And don't fuck with dolphins because he likes dolphins.
Isn't he? Nah, I forget which way around it is. Was it Kiss took some inspiration off him, or did he take inspiration off Kiss? I forget. Because he's got that look.
He came after Kiss by the looks of it.
Okay, so I think it was the artist kind of took a bit of flavor.
I think there's a bit of inspiration of like 80s.
Yeah, and that flavor of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, a Lobo project would be very cool, but it's widely been known that Jason Momoa is a massive Lobo fan.
Yeah, and that's his dream project, right?
Yeah. So everyone's kind of going, if the DC's going to get a reshuffle anyway, does Jason Momoa leave Aquaman and become Lobo?
Well, so we talked about, obviously, last week about what James Gunn's DC EU would look like. And one thing we talked about was Aquaman, and we both agreed that Jason Momoa plays Aquaman great.
Phenomenally, yeah. Very good.
We also don't really know what's going to happen with Aquaman. So, for all we know, Flashpoint and whatever happens in that, or in an Aquaman 2, whenever the fuck we get these films, it might just be a case of like James Gunn decides all of it's getting wiped. He doesn't want to use Aquaman going forward because it's too, like, that shit gets too complicated to try and tie in how he wants to tie in, or it doesn't fit into his idea. But I would imagine James Gunn, probably similar to us, thinks he was great Aquaman. He'd love probably to have Jason Momoa still in the DCU, and maybe they do a Lobo and that's how he keeps Jason Momoa in his DCU, but not necessarily has to keep him as Aquaman. I think that would be pretty
Yeah.
cool if he does.
It's a really tricky one.
Mm.
I would be okay. Bearing in mind we already said that James Gunn tends to thrive off the wacky.
Hmm.
I'd be down for him to make Jason Momoa Lobo, and then go for a more traditional Aquaman, like very over the top, and I talk like this, and adventure.
The
I'd
ocean.
actually kind of be yeah, I'd be kind of down for that.
I think they should get Greta Thunberg to play.
um, but it's a tricky one. This whole thing we talked about of if they're not going to do a full reset, it's going to be very difficult for some fans to understand what does
Mm,
and doesn't count. This would be one of them things that would make
yeah,
it even more difficult.
it would. I think
Um,
the only thing is I feel if they did do this, in a way it also kind of makes it a bit more clear, because if you're going to recast Jason Momoa as someone else, it kind of goes, okay, Aquaman's scrapped because he's
yeah.
now this character. Like, there's zero chance he's going to play both. So,
Uh, there is also the issue of
oh,
Lobo has to be an R-rated film.
okay.
If you don't make him R-rated, that film is going to set new records for lack of tickets sold.
Will
Because
it
the
beat
people,
Morbius though?
yes, yeah, no, out of pure spite it will.
Oh, okay.
Because Lobo's the kind of character that people who would normally go and watch any kind of superhero film will look at that if they're aware of Lobo and go, "I'm sorry, what?
Hmm.
PG-13 for
Yeah.
Lobo? No,
It could be though that this James Gunn might want to bring R-rated films into the.
I'm down." Like they did the Batman. That was what was that rated?
That
That
was,
avoided an R rating.
yeah, I think just,
It
I think
wasn't
it's like,
PG-13, was it?
that might have been a 15.
Uh, bu- bu- bu-
But yeah, so
the Batman rating.
because you've also got to look at the fact that James Gunn's been involved with the MCU. He's seen how successful.
Oh no, it was a PG-13.
Oh, okay. Like James Gunn saw kind of how well received Deadpool was in an R-rated film. And he could very
So,
easily go to DC and be like, "Look, R-rated films work.
and that's what I'm saying. Like Deadpool needed to be an adult
R-rated,
film.
yeah."
Lobo needs to be even more so.
So
There is a way, although it would take a lot of very good skill, where you can make Deadpool as a PG-13 work with like him being like bleeped every time he goes to swear and him getting more and more infuriated by it and stuff like that.
yeah,
With Lobo, you just have to let him run and not interfere. And I don't know if Warner Brothers slash DC have that in them.
I wonder though if they're giving him a lot more of the reins on creative freedom, which it sounds like they are going to be. He could pitch it in a way of being like, "Look, I've been at MCU. Deadpool had to be R-rated because of the character, and it worked perfect. It worked great. Look, I'd love to do a Lobo, but it has to be an R-rated film." And then like sells it that way. I think it
Well,
could be very cool.
it could be a case of he's already kind of got permission for it, or he doesn't need permission. They've told him it's his to run as he sees fit. And this is his way of announcing to the world that DC is changing. He's
Yeah,
like, okay, what's the best way to let everyone know that we are changing our direction? Lobo film.
yeah. No, like it would very much set a new kind of like precedent. Like, oh shit, okay, DC is going a new way with this.
Yeah, they've just had a pretty. Don't get me wrong. I know the Rock film, Black Adam,
Mm-hmm.
was
The Rock
still
film.
rated 12, but it was pretty fucking brutal for a 12. Like they didn't
Yeah, it
hold back
was.
on the action too much. So if they want to just go all in on that, like they can make it work.
Yeah, they can.
But it'll be very interesting to see because I can't think of any other actor who'd work as Lobo. Let me just
Um,
Google Lobo fan cast and see what people reckon.
Lobo fan cast. No, I
Okay,
can't.
so the first picture that comes up is Lobo in the middle. We have Terry Crews, that Mark Wahlberg, The Rock, and Gronkowski, former New England Patriot tight end.
Oh,
So, like, there's not a lot of, it's just a lot of muscle mass.
I am seeing.
Ooh,
I
Roman
googled it
Reigns
as
is the
well.
fan cast.
There's Norman Reedus as one.
He's very skinny
Yeah,
for Lobo.
he'd have to bulk the fuck up.
And also,
Same
the
with
rumors of him being Ghost Rider are
yeah,
getting stronger by the day.
same as Kim Coates. I'm seeing on here as well,
Yeah.
who also would have to bulk up. But you also have to remember superhero gym sessions.
Steroids.
Those actors get bulked very quickly. So
Yeah, steroids help with that.
yeah, there's a few options, but I actually do agree. I think just for pure like off how actors look now, Jason Momoa actually fits it very well.
Yes, he really does. I
And
believe when it first leaked that Jason Momoa was auditioning for a DC role, a lot
people,
of people assumed it was a Lobo film.
he's also like Jason Momoa is fucking crazy. Like IRL, like the energy. Like I've watched, I follow him on socials and stuff, and he has like a YouTube channel. He does biking stuff and all that. But like his energy is like very like fucking chaos.
Yeah.
So
Um,
be interesting
but
to
it'll
see.
be interesting to see how that pans out and what other weird stuff James Gunn's just going to tease on Twitter just to wind people up now that he's got all this power.
Oh yeah, that's the thing now. He's gonna just farm impressions if he wants to.
Let's remember James Gunn does love a Twitter troll, and he's not going to stop that just because he has a very important job now.
Has he got an official tag though?
No one does anymore. They got rid of them. Sorry, they lasted 3 whole minutes. We did have one. We did have one, guys. Honest. They
Yeah.
just disappeared too quick. Don't ask questions. Um, and more in wild
Casting.
casting news.
Yeah.
This broke, I think, after we finished recording last week, or
Yeah,
just
some
before.
yeah, around then.
We've never really covered The Witcher on here. I've watched bits of it. I've never got around to fully watching it.
I have fully
So
watched
I've
it.
never felt the need to comment on it. But after the news of Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, it's been confirmed that he is leaving his role as Geralt in The Witcher show on Netflix. And apparently Liam Hemsworth's first in line to take the role.
Yep. So
I haven't watched the show much.
I have.
This seems like a bad decision.
So there's a few angles that I think is the reason for this. I've watched all 3 seasons. I've played the games. I'm not a Witcher book fanatic. I enjoyed the shows, but I was aware of the fact that they did stray away from the books quite a bit by season 3. And also, so I think one reason is his new commitment to Superman potentially added some clashes with whenever they want to do season 4 and if there's something upcoming that he's going to have to be filming for Superman. That's one potential like part of his commitment to Superman or something maybe clashed with Witcher. But there has also been many occasions where Henry Cavill himself, and it's been from people that worked on the show, he's butted heads with the writers and Netflix a lot since season 1. Because Henry Cavill has read all the Witcher books, he's played the games. He's a
huge fucking nerd, is what he is.
Yeah, and he's a huge Witcher fan. To the point where after season 1, where Netflix kind of wrote Geralt as like this broody, emotionless person, he wasn't happy about that because that's not how Geralt is. So he made sure that the character had more emotion in season 2. There was also certain lines where he's just turned around and gone, no, that's not how it is in the book. I'm writing this line. Like, it should be like this. Like, the writers wanted to kill off Roach, his horse. He hated how they did it.
No. He's in all the games. You don't kill off a named fucking character like the horse.
So then
That screams of a writer wanting to get an emotive response from the audience and not knowing how
but
to do it.
apparently he did it in a shit way. So Geralt, Henry Cavill just went, no, wrote that whole scene himself, and it was an excellent performance in the way that he did it, like for the situation. So I think that's also a big reason. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's had the script for season 4, and his contract was only up to like season 3 or something, and in the process of renewing, they're like, "Here's the script for season 4." This, and he's gone, "No, this
Nope,
isn't.
not
This
the
is
up end.
this isn't The Witcher anymore. This is becoming some Netflix parody of The Witcher." And that's. It wouldn't surprise me if that's the main reason he's parted ways. Is actually it was his choice.
But it's
It is
not.
a shame because I do think he was like the best cast for Geralt. Like he fit Geralt so just as he fits Superman so well. Um, so it's a shame that he is stepping away. I will probably still watch season 4 and give it a chance. Um, I know
I
a
mean,
lot.
they've got the shit Hemsworth.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm boycotting it now." No, no, no. I get that. I'll still give it a chance. I'll still watch it and actually see. But I definitely will be going in with kind of like taking it with a pinch of salt now because
I will say I think there is an issue with the internet as a whole, um, refusing to let characters be recast.
yeah,
This kind of obsession with this was the person doing it. I liked them, therefore they are the only person allowed to do it while I'm alive is not good. And I think we're already starting to see the issues of that through Marvel.
mm,
And I don't see it getting better anytime soon.
well, unfortunately, that's the internet for you.
What we almost need is Liam Hemsworth to come in and be very, very good here,
Yeah, and
so
prove
that
everyone
it
wrong.
can, so that it can be the thing that people use to get them to give other people a chance,
Mm,
and then just that then allows a couple more good ones to happen, and then
mhm.
there's enough there where people are like, okay, let's watch it based on merit. Um,
My worry though for Witcher is I think there's a very good chance that Liam comes in and he does a great job as Geralt. I think the thing that's gonna, if they've kind of strayed further away from like the books and the thing, is that the show itself will not feel that great, no matter how good of a part he plays. And unfortunately for him, that'll overshadow his performance because people will just go, "Oh, this felt shit because it wasn't actually like the books or anything," and Henry Cavill's gone. So, boo, don't want to watch this ever again.
yeah, it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rough one. I think Netflix should just spend their money on more Cyberpunk 2077 animes. Um, that'd be good.
But yeah, the price we paid for having him back as Superman,
Yeah,
everyone's been saying.
everything has a price.
Yeah, literally.
On to our
So,
superhero showdown.
yes.
This week we have Agatha versus Kingpin. Standard rules apply. Bloodlusted to the death, etc., etc. Now, there's supposed to be an advantage for Kingpin here.
No, we never discussed it.
Yeah, this advantage idea was a really good idea when we thought we'd have time to an advantage ahead of time.
I mean, we could have done. We did kind of just forget.
Yeah, but the more you know. Um, I'm just going to go ahead and say that Kingpin is aware that she has magical powers because he's quite a smart guy. That might give him a leg up.
Yeah, yeah, because I can't really
Unless
think of anything we could necessarily take off Agatha.
Kingpin buffs.
Kingpin buffs. Can you get a magic resistant suit?
So in a contest of champions, the Marvel game.
Mm-hmm.
What? There was something about a buff. What's his buff? Rage.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty standard Kingpin, though, I feel.
Yeah, and he's already bloodlusted, which is about as ragey as it gets.
Is there anything we could take off Agatha, maybe?
Um, she probably has an amulet or something that enhances her power, so we'll just go with like base level magic.
Um,
No books or nothing.
Dark magic. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's all just like she can do fucking magic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's gonna make too much difference to the
Yeah, I think
outcome.
unfortunately,
There we go.
I think we're just gonna
Paraphernalia.
go with
I mean, she won't have her crystal ball or her familiar. That's about it.
yeah. Well,
She does also have no known fighting skills.
yeah, but she can just Wingardium
It's
Leviosa.
a tricky one.
It is a tricky one, but
What the question comes down to
with
is,
standard
do
rules.
we think Kingpin because I genuinely believe he only needs to land one punch because of his 400 pounds of pure muscle.
Yeah.
Does he land one punch before she uses magic to end him?
Considering with our whole standard rules and bloodlusted and neutral ground, the fact
Uh-huh.
that Agatha is going to be bloodlusted, I don't think she hesitates at any point to use her magic. So I don't know if there's a situation where maybe there's a situation where she goes to like restrain him but doesn't quite predict his strength, so he resists it enough at first, like he can push through it and like maybe gets somewhat of a hit on her and it knocks her, like it fucks her up a bit. But I think
I would
overall,
like to play devil's avocado for a second.
avocado.
Yeah,
Free
devil's avocado.
shavocado.
Free avocado indeed. He has his cane.
Yeah.
What if, while running at her, he throws that at her to disorientate her, which will stop her being able to execute any spell, thus allowing him to close ground on her?
You make a good point.
Because magic is very powerful, don't get me wrong, but the wielder still needs to execute.
Mm-hmm.
So distractions are a big part.
Yeah. Okay. I think there's definitely a situation where something along your lines where Agatha doesn't quite go full force at trying to like muster every fucking thing she can, and like he disorientates her, catches her off guard, and if he closes that ground, he beats the ever living shit out of her.
Because, like I said, it doesn't. It's not literally. He will crush her head with one hand if he
Yeah,
can close that gap.
I
The
think
question is, how likely or how good a chance do we give him of closing that gap?
I'd give him like a 1 in 5 chance.
Oh, I'm giving him a better chance than that. He's fast.
Yeah, but I feel
I,
like Agatha,
I'm.
like coming out the gate just full force.
I need you to remember. Don't get me wrong. I know there's obviously comics where Spider-Man goes all in on him and destroys him, but
Oh no,
like he's hanging with Spider-Man on a semi-regular basis and causing him a lot of grief. And Spider-Man has
true.
like a fucking pre-warning built in. I'd be giving him a kind of 40-50% chance of closing that gap. So I have a
I'll give you
proposal.
a 2 in 5.
That'd be 40%. I've got a proposal.
Yeah.
Why don't we leave this up to the community and put out a little community post along with the episode tomorrow
Oh,
where people can
smart.
vote and see what they think. And then if not, I, as the holder of the bracket, will make a decision.
I see. Typical
Um,
British
yeah,
government standard.
I am only a
The,
left wing person until I have the power.
the one in charge will then decide what happens.
Yeah, you can
You-
trust me to count your votes fairly.
I'm surprised we're even getting a vote. Okay, yeah. No, I do agree. If Kingpin can close the gap, like he wins.
Yeah,
I just
the
wonder.
entire question is essentially, does Kingpin close the gap?
And I think if Agatha comes out the gate full force, no. If she lets off just a bit, she could be caught out and game over. So
Because in my head, what I'm seeing is he's grabbing his cane, he's launching it at her fucking head. Because we've said his advantage is he knows she's got magical powers.
yeah,
So he's going to be like, got to shut that shit down.
I guess
So
it then just
essentially, what I'm saying is he hits her with the cane 2 in 5 times, and then he's able to get there and just. No matter what, this is a quick fight.
yeah. Either way, whoever gets the upper hand off the rip, just
They got to put it home.
well, yeah, because if he doesn't, then it's over.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't,
But,
then it's over for her. So
yeah, so I'm pretty sure you can link community posts, so that'll be in the comments down below. I'm sure Hori will work that out.
yeah.
Maybe there'll be one on
YouTube
Twitter as well. Who
tutorial.
knows? But make sure you cast your vote down below so you can have your say. Very, very important. Otherwise, how will we know what you want? And we'll put the wrong person through on purpose.
If you're watching the segment of this, go back to the full episode or go to the channel, find where the community post is. I'll try and also
We'll leave it open. We'll leave it
segment.
open for a week.
Yep.
So we have plenty of time. But that is it for us this week. Next week we will have Andor episode 11, the penultimate episode of the series.
Yep.
As well as Black Panther talk.
And
other
potential
news and stuff.
Character profile of someone in Black Panther, depending.
Yeah. We might have a fun character profile. Need to go back and check my character profile list to see what I have and haven't done.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that
Black
is it from us
Panther
this week.
I'm
so excited. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, all them good things. Make sure you go moan on Twitter about Twitter Blue letting people be paid to be verified and how that's silly.
We'll be doing the same with our check mark.
And we will see you next week. Have a lovely weekend. Goodbye.
See you next week.